And thank you all of our witnesses for your opening remarks. We will now move to the member questions under the 5-minute rule, and I recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Schroeder, the first question is going to be for you, sir. Small businesses are vital to America's industrial base, especially when it comes to providing goods and services for our military. Unfortunately, fewer small businesses are choosing to do business with the government, resulting in a 79% decline in new businesses entering the federal procurement space from 2005 through 2019. My question is, what did you do that helped prepare you for the federal government contracting space, knowing that fewer entrepreneurs were getting involved?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did it by small steps, and that would be my advice to any entrepreneur or small business that is looking to start work with the federal government. The barriers are so high and the process is so lengthy that you can't go full into it in one step, that it's an incremental approach. And so that would be my advice, is that you start slowly, pick a customer that you have some expertise with, that you have, and go at it that way in terms of your initial start.
Were there dialogues that you had with the SBA, websites that you referenced, other ways that you learned tricks of the trade to get you off the ground the right way?
So I did not find the SBA particularly helpful. I went straight to the agencies and started working directly with the programs as opposed to an advocacy. Every time I went to a particular advocacy group, or a vendor management, or any sort of technology path, or innovation path, or vendor path, none of those proved useful at all. The only thing that mattered was the program entity, the end user, the customer, if you will, and what they needed and what their requirements were. It wasn't that it could be pushed on to them.
Thanks. And if any other witnesses want to add in some of their experiences, I think we have a moment or two for that.
Sure, I would love to. Thank you. We read a book. We decided during COVID to jump into the contracting space because we were a woman-owned business, and we knew that in the federal contracting arena that was important. So we actually read a book called Government Contracts Made Easy, and took a 15-minute consultation with the woman who wrote it. So we really did, we did a lot of homework, and we looked at the landscape. And then we went to the DOD and presented some product that we thought that they would like, and that really started our path. So we aggressively pursued the process.
Thank you. And Ms. Lopez, did you want to add anything?
Absolutely. I was fortunate enough to have some understanding of government contracting, so that was very helpful. But quite frankly, what I learned, even though I was a very experienced government contractor, if you're a new entrant into the government space, there's still a lot you have to do. For instance, you have no access to quote-unquote vehicles, right? Because you don't have past performance. Though I could run $100 million projects, it didn't matter to the government when it comes to actually doing them, because I did not have that past experience, past performance. One of the things, though, that honestly I've seen, I mentor a lot in government contracting, is that a lot of individuals can't get started because the government is a very complex thing to navigate. I know CIOs, individuals who've been CIOs in industry, they tried and they said, forget it, right? Because of all the procurement rules. So one of the things that really worked for me and works for others is having programs like the Veterans Institute of Procurement, emerging leaders, things like that give significant substantive information for free. Those programs are free, but they give you every detail you need to really begin to understand and grow in the federal space.
Thank you. I want to change gears for a second about self-certification, and Ms. Ferrari, I want to direct the initial question to you. The committee is concerned about self-certification of firms and the potential for fraud or misrepresentation, and I'd like for you to take a first shot at this. About what are your views on self-certification of firms?
Thank you, Chairman. I think that it needs to go away. There is rampant fraud across so many areas of contracting in general, but to self-certify, there are so many companies that, will list their wife as the owner of the company and that person not being involved in the day-to-day business. It happens full stop so much. So we really think that would be a very big step in helping small businesses to actually thrive in this space by having the program where you have to be certified by the SBA with a stringent certification process. That really is a critical move.
Thank you. And if the ranking member will indulge me for 30 more seconds, Mr. Schroeder, if you wouldn't mind, the same question.
Sure, and thank you for the question. I would say that there are two reasons not to certify. Number one, you're not capable of certifying because you don't have the ownership structure, and so you should be ineligible. The second reason, you're just lazy, and you don't want to go through the process. And I would say either one of those reasons are enough to require the certification process. We've encountered it multiple times, and there's nothing worse than losing to someone that is misrepresenting themselves.
Thank you. I appreciate your feedback. My time is well expired.